In a remarkable event that has captured global attention, a series of photographs have recently surfaced online showing a glowing, unidentified flying object hovering above the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem during the night. The images, uploaded by several eyewitnesses, depict a bright, glowing orb floating silently over one of the most revered and significant religious sites in the world. This incident has sparked widespread discussion, with many questioning the nature of the sighting, while others speculate about its potential religious or extraterrestrial significance. The images, which have been shared on social media platforms and news outlets, are clear, vivid, and difficult to dismiss as ordinary objects or tricks of light, prompting renewed interest in the UFO phenomenon. The Dome of the Rock is one of the most iconic and sacred sites in the world, located in the heart of Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. It holds profound religious significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. Built in the late 7th century, it is one of the oldest surviving works of Islamic architecture and is regarded as the third holiest site in Islam. According to tradition, it is the spot where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during the night journey. Given the religious and historical significance of the Dome of the Rock, any unusual event that occurs in its vicinity inevitably draws attention. In this case, the appearance of a glowing UFO over the site has only heightened intrigue and speculation. The symbolism of a UFO hovering over such a spiritually charged location has led to various interpretations, some viewing it as a sign from above, while others see it as further evidence of extraterrestrial interest in humanity's most sacred places. What sets this sighting apart from many other UFO encounters is the clarity and detail of the photographs that have been uploaded. The images show a glowing orb of light hovering above the Dome of the Rock, seemingly stationary in the sky. The object emits a bright white light, which contrasts sharply against the dark night sky, making it easily visible. Eyewitnesses describe the UFO as being silent, with no noticeable movement or sound, adding to the mystery of its presence. Multiple angles of the UFO were captured by different individuals, all of whom uploaded their images to social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. The consistency of these images, taken from various vantage points, has made it difficult to dismiss the sighting as a hoax or mere optical illusion. Furthermore, video footage of the event has also emerged, showing the glowing object hovering for several minutes before abruptly disappearing into the sky. The clarity of these photographs is a key reason why this sighting has garnered so much attention. Unlike many other UFO sightings that are blurry or ambiguous, the images from Jerusalem provide a clear and detailed view of the object, making it harder for skeptics to dismiss the event as a simple misunderstanding or camera malfunction. This level of clarity has led some to claim that the photographs represent some of the best evidence of UFO activity in recent years. The public reaction to the glowing UFO sighting above the Dome of the Rock has been one of awe, curiosity, and, predictably, skepticism. Social media platforms were flooded with comments and discussions almost immediately after the images were uploaded. For many, the sighting is seen as a deeply spiritual or significant event, occurring at a location that holds great religious importance. Some individuals have interpreted the glowing orb as a divine sign, a message from the heavens, or even an indication of a miraculous event yet to come. For those who subscribe to religious interpretations, the timing and location of the sighting add a layer of symbolism that transcends ordinary UFO encounters. Others, however, see the sighting as further evidence of extraterrestrial involvement in human affairs. There has long been speculation that UFOs are drawn to sites of historical or religious significance, and the Dome of the Rock fits this pattern perfectly. In the minds of UFO enthusiasts and researchers, the sighting over Jerusalem could be interpreted as a sign that extraterrestrial beings are observing humanity, particularly in places that are key to our cultural and spiritual history. However, skepticism persists as well. Critics argue that the glowing object could be explained by more conventional means, such as a drone, aircraft, or an atmospheric anomaly. Some have suggested that the light could be a reflection or a result of camera artifacts, pointing to the prevalence of drones and other aerial devices in modern urban environments. Others have raised the possibility of a hoax, though the number of witnesses and the consistency of the images have made this explanation less likely. The glowing UFO above the Dome of the Rock is part of a broader trend of increased UFO sightings around the world in recent years. as governments, including the United States, have started to take the UFO phenomenon more seriously, releasing declassified reports and videos of encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, public interest in the subject has surged. The Jerusalem sighting fits into this growing awareness and curiosity, fueling speculation about what UFOs truly represent. There is a long-standing history of UFO sightings near places of religious or historical importance. From ancient temples to modern-day monuments, UFOs have been reported in the skies above many significant sites. Some UFO researchers believe that these sightings suggest a connection between humanity's spiritual evolution and extraterrestrial activity, while others argue that these sites simply attract more attention, leading to more frequent reports of anomalous objects. The recent sighting of a glowing UFO hovering above the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem has renewed interest in the long history of UFO sightings in the region. Jerusalem, one of the most sacred cities in the world, has been the focal point of numerous historical, religious, and mysterious events. Over the years, there have been several reported UFO sightings above this ancient city, particularly near its holy sites. These sightings have captivated both UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike, as the city's profound religious significance seems to amplify the intrigue surrounding these phenomena. The Dome of the Rock, in particular, has been the site of repeated UFO sightings. One of the most well-known incidents occurred in January 2011, when multiple witnesses reported seeing a bright, glowing object descend over the Dome of the Rock during the night. The event was captured on video from several different angles by various individuals, showing a small, luminous object hovering in the night sky. After hovering for a few moments above the holy site, the object shot upward at an incredible speed, disappearing into the sky. These videos quickly went viral and sparked widespread debate. The footage was analyzed and scrutinized by both believers and skeptics, with some arguing that the video showed a genuine UFO encounter, while others claimed it could be a cleverly crafted hoax or a misidentification of a man-made object such as a drone or an aircraft. Despite the controversy, the 2011 sighting remains one of the most discussed UFO encounters in recent history, particularly because of its location at one of the most significant religious sites in the world. Other reports of UFO sightings over Jerusalem date back even further. In the 1990s, there were sporadic claims of strange lights and objects seen moving across the sky, often near the Temple Mount and other holy sites. These reports were typically dismissed as atmospheric anomalies or misinterpretations of natural phenomena, but the persistence of such sightings has led some to question whether there is something unique about Jerusalem that attracts these unexplained objects. UFO sightings near places of religious and historical importance, like Jerusalem, carry a deeper level of significance for many people. The symbolism of these events is often interpreted in ways that transcend typical UFO encounters. For some, the appearance of strange objects in the skies above sacred locations is seen as a sign of divine intervention, as though these sightings are messages from a higher power. In a city as spiritually charged as Jerusalem, where Judaism, Christianity, and Islam converge, the idea that a UFO could have a religious or mystical meaning is particularly resonant. This theory is supported by accounts throughout history of strange celestial events near places of religious significance. Ancient texts, including the Bible, contain descriptions of unusual lights, objects, and phenomena in the sky, which were often interpreted as omens or divine signs. For example, the Star of Bethlehem in Christian tradition is sometimes viewed as a UFO-like event, and in Islamic tradition, there are references to celestial phenomena associated with the Prophet Muhammad's night journey, which took place at the Dome of the Rock. Given Jerusalem's status as a religious epicenter, it is not surprising that UFO sightings above the city spark such intense speculation. For believers, these sightings offer a tantalizing possibility that humanity is being observed by forces beyond our understanding, forces that may be linked to both extraterrestrial visitors and divine entities. These connections between the spiritual and the extraterrestrial add layers of meaning to the sightings, making them more than just a question of strange lights in the sky. Despite the compelling nature of these UFO sightings, there are many who remain skeptical of their significance, particularly regarding those that occur over Jerusalem. Skeptics argue that the city's cultural, religious, and political importance often leads people to interpret natural phenomena or man-made objects as something more mysterious. While skepticism is warranted, the repeated UFO sightings over Jerusalem still intrigue researchers and enthusiasts. The city's importance as a religious and historical site makes these sightings more compelling than those in less culturally significant areas. These events continue to push the boundaries of our understanding of UFOs and challenge the public to consider how the spiritual and the extraterrestrial might intersect. The clear and detailed nature of the most recent UFO sightings in Jerusalem, particularly the glowing object hovering above the Dome of the Rock, adds to the growing body of evidence suggesting that UFOs are not a new phenomenon, but a persistent one. Whether these sightings are explained as natural phenomena, advanced technology, or something more mysterious, they remain a central focus for UFO researchers and believers. Additionally, the fact that these sightings are occurring at one of the most sacred locations on Earth raises important questions about the possible significance of UFOs in human history. The stories of the Bible have captivated the imaginations of people for millennia, chronicling miraculous events, divine interventions, and mysterious encounters that have shaped religious thought for centuries. However, in recent years, some researchers and theorists have posed a provocative question. Could some of these biblical events, especially those involving celestial or divine beings, have been sightings of unidentified flying objects? Given the lack of scientific knowledge thousands of years ago, ancient people may not have had the tools or language to accurately interpret and describe such phenomena. Instead, they might have framed these experiences within their spiritual and religious belief systems, attributing them to gods or angels. This theory, while controversial, opens up an intriguing perspective on ancient encounters and how they may relate to the modern-day UFO phenomenon. Many biblical accounts involve the appearance of celestial beings or mysterious objects in the sky that are described in religious terms. The story of Ezekiel's vision, recorded in the Bible's Old Testament, has fascinated scholars and theologians for centuries. However, in recent decades, some have proposed an intriguing and unconventional interpretation of the prophet Ezekiel's experience, that he may have been witnessing a UFO. Described in the first chapter of the book of Ezekiel, the vision includes vivid imagery of strange, otherworldly figures, flying objects, and bright lights that defy natural explanation. Given the technological limitations and worldview of Ezekiel's time, it's possible that the prophet interpreted what he saw as a divine encounter rather than an extraterrestrial one. This theory, while controversial, presents a compelling reimagining of one of the Bible's most enigmatic passages and raises intriguing questions about how ancient people might have interpreted potential UFO sightings. Ezekiel was a prophet in ancient Israel during the Babylonian exile, around 600 BCE. In the opening chapter of the book of Ezekiel, he describes an astonishing vision while standing by the Kebar River in Babylon. According to Ezekiel, the heavens were opened, and he saw visions of God. He describes a powerful whirlwind coming out of the north, accompanied by a great cloud with fire, lightning, and a brightness around it. Out of this fiery spectacle emerged 4 living creatures, each with 4 faces and 4 wings. These creatures appeared human-like, but had faces of a man, lion, ox, and eagle. Beneath them were wheels within wheels, which moved in all directions without turning. The whole vision radiated an intense light, with the sound of the wings described as the noise of great waters, or the voice of the Almighty. This vision, rich in symbolism and detail, is traditionally understood in a religious context, representing a divine revelation or encounter with heavenly beings. However, modern interpreters, particularly those within the UFO research community, have suggested that Ezekiel's vision bears striking similarities to descriptions of UFO sightings and encounters with extraterrestrial entities in contemporary reports. One of the most frequently cited pieces of evidence supporting the UFO theory is Ezekiel's description of the wheels within wheels. According to Ezekiel, these wheels were capable of moving in any direction without turning and had rims full of eyes. This description has led some to propose that the wheels could represent a flying craft or vehicle, similar to the way modern UFO sightings often describe flying saucers or objects with rotating components. In modern interpretations, the eyes on the rims of the wheels might be interpreted as lights or windows on a spacecraft, akin to how UFOs are often described with glowing or flashing lights. Furthermore, the idea that the wheels could move in all directions without turning sounds reminiscent of the hovering, multidirectional movement that has been observed in many UFO sightings over the years. The fact that Ezekiel repeatedly emphasizes the radiant light and fire associated with the vision also aligns with many UFO accounts, where witnesses describe bright, glowing objects in the sky. Another key element of Ezekiel's vision is the 4 living creatures he describes. These beings, with their 4 faces and wings, do not resemble anything from the natural world. Traditional religious interpretations view them as cherubim or angelic beings, representing the divine power and majesty of God. However, proponents of the UFO theory suggest that Ezekiel might have been describing extraterrestrial beings, creatures so foreign to human experience that they were unlike anything he had seen before. The combination of human and animal characteristics in these beings could be an attempt by Ezekiel to describe an alien form that defied human understanding. His description of their appearance and movement is vague and symbolic, potentially reflecting his limited vocabulary for describing something as unfamiliar as extraterrestrial life. If Ezekiel had indeed encountered beings from another world, it's reasonable to assume that he would interpret them within the religious framework of his time, seeing them as messengers from God or supernatural entities. Throughout Ezekiel's vision, there are repeated references to bright lights, fire, and intense sounds. The bright light and fire that accompany the vision could be seen as indicative of advanced technology rather than purely divine radiance. Modern UFO sightings frequently involve descriptions of glowing objects, often moving at high speeds or hovering silently in the sky. The light and fire described in Ezekiel's vision could correspond to the propulsion or energy systems of an extraterrestrial craft. Moreover, Ezekiel describes the noise of the wings of the creatures as sounding like great waters or the voice of the Almighty. This powerful sound might be analogous to the noise made by an advanced spacecraft. Some UFO sightings today describe loud humming, roaring, or other mechanical sounds emanating from unidentified objects. If Ezekiel encountered such a craft, the sound and brightness could have appeared to him as divine phenomena, especially given his cultural and religious background. While the UFO theory presents a captivating alternative to traditional interpretations of Ezekiel's vision, it remains speculative. Ezekiel lived in a time when the heavens and celestial phenomena were viewed through a deeply religious lens. Any extraordinary experience, especially one involving the sky or mysterious beings, would have been interpreted as divine rather than extraterrestrial. The challenge in analyzing Ezekiel's vision is the lack of contemporary vocabulary for describing advanced technology or extraterrestrial life. Furthermore, the symbolic nature of biblical texts makes it difficult to separate metaphor from literal description. The vision may have been purely metaphorical, representing spiritual truths rather than an actual physical encounter. For centuries, scholars have interpreted Ezekiel's vision as a powerful religious experience intended to convey the awe and mystery of divine presence. The Star of Bethlehem is one of the most iconic symbols of the Christmas story, representing the divine light that guided the wise men, or magi, to the birthplace of Jesus. As recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, the star appeared in the east and led the magi on a journey to Jerusalem and then to Bethlehem, where they found the infant Jesus. While this celestial event has traditionally been interpreted as a miraculous sign of Christ's birth, some researchers and UFO enthusiasts have speculated that the Star of Bethlehem may not have been a star at all, but rather a UFO, a sighting of an unidentified flying object in biblical times. Given the lack of scientific understanding and the religious context of the time, ancient people might have interpreted the appearance of a UFO as a divine or supernatural event. This idea challenges traditional interpretations of the Star of Bethlehem, but it also opens up intriguing possibilities for re-examining ancient religious texts. Could the Star of Bethlehem have been a UFO or an extraterrestrial craft, guiding the Magi to a significant event in human history? While this theory is far from universally accepted, it highlights the enduring mystery of the Star of Bethlehem and how it may have been interpreted through the lens of ancient understanding. In the Gospel of Matthew, the Star of Bethlehem is described as appearing in the east and guiding the Magi, often referred to as wise men or kings, on a journey to find the newborn Jesus. There are several key features of this account that have intrigued researchers. First, the star was not a typical celestial body, as it appeared to move and guide the Magi. it also seemed to hover over a specific location, which is unusual for a star. Stars, as we understand them today, are distant celestial objects, and while they may appear to rise and set in the sky due to the Earth's rotation, they do not change their position relative to individual landmarks on the ground. This behavior has led some to propose alternative explanations, including the possibility that the Star of Bethlehem could have been a UFO. The idea that the Star of Bethlehem might have been a UFO is part of a broader theory that some events described in religious texts, particularly the Bible, may have been encounters with extraterrestrial beings or advanced technology. In ancient times, without the benefit of modern science or technology, people would have interpreted unfamiliar phenomena through the lens of their religious beliefs. A bright, moving object in the sky, unlike anything they had seen before, could easily have been described as a star or a sign from God. One of the most compelling arguments for this theory is the behavior of the star. Unlike a natural star or planet, which would appear to move steadily across the sky, the Star of Bethlehem seemed to guide the Magi with precision. The fact that it stopped over the place where Jesus was born suggests that it was not behaving like a celestial body, but rather like something under intelligent control. Some proponents of the UFO theory argue that this could have been a craft or lighted object, possibly piloted by extraterrestrial beings, guiding the Magi to the birthplace of Jesus. Additionally, the timing of the star's appearance and the fact that it was specifically noticed by the Magi is another point of interest. The Magi were believed to be astrologers or scholars, likely well versed in observing celestial events. If the star was truly an extraordinary event, it is possible that it caught their attention because it defied the typical patterns of the night sky. A UFO, emitting light and moving independently of the stars, would certainly have been something that would attract the attention of learned individuals who regularly studied the heavens. While the idea of the Star of Bethlehem being a UFO is intriguing, it is important to consider other, more conventional explanations. Over the centuries, many astronomers and theologians have proposed various natural phenomena that could explain the appearance of the star. Some have suggested that it was a supernova, a rare event in which a star explodes and briefly becomes extremely bright. Others have proposed that the star could have been a comet, which would have moved across the sky and could have been interpreted as a sign of great significance. Another popular theory is that the Star of Bethlehem was a planetary conjunction, a phenomenon in which two or more planets appear very close to each other in the sky. In 7 BCE, there was a rare conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the constellation Pisces, which some scholars believe could have been the star that guided the Magi. This event would have been visible to the naked eye and could have been seen as a special astronomical sign. However, these natural explanations still leave some questions unanswered. None of these phenomena, supernovae, comets, or planetary conjunctions, would stop over a specific location on Earth, as the Star of Bethlehem is said to have done. This unique behavior remains one of the strongest arguments for alternative theories, including the possibility of a UFO sighting. The idea that the Star of Bethlehem could have been a UFO raises interesting questions about how ancient cultures interpreted celestial phenomena. It also suggests that encounters with extraterrestrial beings, if they occurred, might have been interpreted as divine events. Throughout history, humans have often viewed the unknown or unexplained as the work of gods or supernatural forces. In the case of the Star of Bethlehem, an unfamiliar object in the sky could easily have been seen as a miraculous sign, sent to herald the birth of an important religious figure. For those who subscribe to the ancient astronaut theory, which posits that extraterrestrial beings have visited Earth throughout history and influenced human culture, the Star of Bethlehem may represent one such instance. If extraterrestrial visitors were observing or interacting with humanity at key moments in history, the birth of Jesus, a figure who would go on to profoundly shape world religions, could have been one of those moments. If extraterrestrial visitors did indeed interact with people in ancient times, it is not difficult to imagine that their advanced technology would have been misunderstood as divine power. Lacking scientific knowledge, ancient civilizations would have interpreted anything beyond their understanding through the lens of their existing worldview, which was deeply rooted in spirituality and religious beliefs. For example, in the story of Moses and the burning bush, Moses encounters a bush that burns with fire but is not consumed. From a modern perspective, this could be interpreted as an encounter with some form of advanced technology, perhaps an energy source or even a hologram that Moses could not comprehend. However, given his religious framework, he saw it as a sign from God. Similarly, the book of Genesis describes the Nephilim, beings who were said to be the offspring of the sons of God and human women. These mysterious figures have long puzzled biblical scholars. Some theorists suggest that this could have been an account of extraterrestrial beings intermingling with humans, a concept not so different from modern reports of abduction or hybridization in UFO literature. The technology and knowledge that these beings might have possessed could easily have been perceived as divine or supernatural. Angels are a frequent presence in the Bible, often acting as messengers of God or protectors of humanity. Their descriptions vary, but they are frequently depicted as glowing, flying beings with wings. Some UFO theorists have posited that these angels could actually have been extraterrestrial beings or advanced robotic entities sent by an alien race to communicate with humans. The glowing light that often accompanies these beings in biblical accounts could be interpreted as the result of advanced technology, such as a spacecraft's energy field or propulsion system. One particularly compelling case is the story of Elijah's ascent to heaven in a chariot of fire in the second book of Kings. Elijah is taken up into the sky in what is described as a fiery vehicle, accompanied by horses of fire. From the perspective of an ancient scribe, this might have been the best way to describe what could have been a flying craft or spacecraft, something so beyond the comprehension of the time that it was interpreted in terms of the supernatural. The events surrounding Moses on Mount Sinai, where he received the Ten Commandments, could also be reinterpreted as a possible UFO encounter. The Bible describes how Moses ascended Mount Sinai to meet God, with a cloud covering the mountain and thunder, lightning, and the sound of trumpets echoing through the air. This could easily be interpreted as a close encounter with an extraterrestrial craft, with the cloud being the exhaust or energy field of the ship, and the thunder and trumpets representing the sound of its engines. In this scenario, the face-to-face meeting with God described in the Bible could have been an interaction with an extraterrestrial intelligence using technology far beyond anything humans of that time could understand. The tablets of stone, inscribed with the commandments, could even be viewed as an advanced form of communication or data transfer from an alien source to the human population. In this interpretation, the awe-inspiring power and majesty of the event would still hold, but the supernatural aspect would be replaced with extraterrestrial technology. With the modern UFO phenomenon gaining increasing attention, especially with recent government disclosures about unidentified aerial phenomena, it is no surprise that people are reinterpreting ancient texts with a fresh perspective. Ancient astronaut theorists have long suggested that extraterrestrials may have played a role in shaping early human civilization, and many biblical events seem to fit this narrative when viewed through a modern lens. While these interpretations are far from universally accepted, they provide an alternative way of understanding the mysterious events described in ancient religious texts. The idea that biblical encounters with the divine might have been misunderstood UFO sightings is a fascinating hypothesis, one that bridges the gap between ancient spirituality and modern science.